What's up, my friend? Welcome back to another video, and today we're taking a look at Spitfire Audio's newest library, BBCSO Piano. And so this is meant as an addition to the BBCSO Symphony Orchestra, of course, and it also comes in the Discover, Core, and Pro editions. We're going to be taking a look at Core today. Sarah from Spitfire Audio was very kind to send me a copy of Core and is also willing to do a giveaway for the Core library as well. So stay to the end for those details if you want to potentially win this library, and I'd love to give that away to you as well. But without further ado, let's kind of jump on in. So I've got my trusty ChordieApp here is as we play along, so you can see what chords I'm playing in case you're interested. But in terms of the actual interface, you can see the traditional Spitfire player GUI. So right now I'm on Core. Again, of course, you can switch between Discover, Pro, and Core, but here we are on Core, and you can just see you can click Piano, and it loads up. And the weight itself is 317 megabytes. At the time of this recording, the sales page has not been published yet, so this is like pre-release, essentially, a pre-release copy. But you can see there are 4 round robins. You can choose between how many round robins you want. And yeah, aside from that, the rest of the interface is pretty simple. The only articulation is just piano. And in terms of effects, you have the main knob, which is assigned to reverb, the mod wheel. And we'll hear that in a little bit. And there's also tightness, pedal volume, and hammer volume. So without further ado, let me just play a little bit, and then we will talk about the sound in a minute. Okay, so here we go. All right, there's just a quick listen to the piano in general. So first impressions, you can really hear the piano is recorded in the same hall as the other instruments, so it's meant to fit within the orchestral context just as easily as on as a standalone library, essentially, and you can use it in any of those purposes pretty well. It also has more of a classical pure sound, right? It's a little bit more neutral in general. It's not super characterful, like it doesn't really have a felty sort of sound. It has more of that clear definition that you would expect to hear in more of a classical concert setting, right? And that's kind of cool too. Now, in terms of which of the ranges actually speak best, I feel the most comfortable in the lower range. The lower range feels quite balanced. And when I play near the top, even the softer dynamics are quite bright, as you can hear. I'm playing very lightly here. So there definitely is a bit of meat to those performances. And maybe Pro is a little bit different, but at least for Core, even if you play super lightly, you can hear that those samples are still quite bright. So if you do want some of those timbres to go a little bit quieter in the upper registers, you might have to do some sort of EQ there or softening for those notes. But in the bottom end, it sounds very warm to there for me. So right, it feels very, very warm and intimate there. But as we go up, so it still sounds very beautiful, very tinkly, but it has more of that clear, almost biting quality in some of those higher notes, right? So that's one thing you want to just be aware of. But this is just out of the box. There's no additional reverb added in. So let's actually put in some as well, and let's hear how this changes things. All right, so yeah, I was just playing around with these knobs a little bit. So tightness seems to make the note appear a little bit earlier. Like the responsiveness is increased, but it does cut into the realism just a little bit because we don't get as much of that attack quite as fully, you know? And then the pedal volume and hammer volume are more self-explanatory. I actually find the pedal volume and hammer volume not really offensive in the first place anyway, so those parameters I personally don't really need to tweak very much. But the reverb itself, for me, it doesn't sound the best. Like I personally like other reverbs. I'm thinking Valhalla or East West Spaces. Like I feel like those would add a bit more naturally. I feel like this reverb kind of muddies the sound a little bit too much for my taste. So that's just me. But yeah, you could certainly add a bit of extra reverb if you want that dash of room. But I think even just default out of the box with the reverb set all the way to 0, you still get quite a lot of that definition in the room, and it sounds beautiful, complements the piano in a really beautiful way. So let me just play a little bit more and then we'll get into the giveaway. So here we go. All right. So yeah, the piano essentially sounds exactly how I expected it to sound. Very warm, quite rich as well. And you can hear by the way it's mic'd up, it doesn't really have that close intimate sound because you know, it's supposed to kind of fit within the, again, the context of the fuller orchestra. If you're using BBCSO, it's meant to just slot in there really well. I would assume that Discover only has the one dynamic layer, maybe one round robin maybe, but overall I think Core has a nice balance. Again, the weight itself, it's only 300 or so megabytes, so it shouldn't be too hard on your system if I had to guess. But yeah, overall I think it sounds great. Again, the upper register is a tad more shrill, a little brighter than I would have expected, but that's just something you kind of, I guess, get accustomed to. But yeah, it's a really nice addition to other piano libraries if you have them, just because it provides that more concert tone, whereas others may be more closely mic'd up, so you get more of that intimate feel. But for this one, it's mic'd a little further back. You definitely get more of the sense of the hall, which is beautiful, and it can lend itself to a more orchestral context compared to some other pianos. So yeah, hopefully you got a sense of the sound, and you know, let me know what you think about it. Speaking of that, let's get into the giveaway. If you're interested in winning a copy, there are the same 3 rules that apply. So the first one is to fill out the form below in the description box. Let me know your details there, and then I'll reach out within the next couple of days to let you know who the winner is. I'll email you, so make sure you enter your details correctly into the system there. Number 2 is to leave a comment under this video letting me know your impressions of the piano and why you want to win a copy. What would you use this library for, and you know, why do you want it, basically. And number 3 is simply to leave a like on the video, and it's always helpful, it's greatly appreciated, and it helps me continue to make more videos like this. So I really appreciate it. Thank you again for watching. Thanks again to Spitfire Audio for providing a copy for myself and for the giveaway, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.